If you're enjoying the Trees and Lines podcast, please head over to our Trees and Lines LinkedIn page and give us a follow. Thanks. Welcome to a Trees and Line podcast. We're again broadcasting from the Trees and Utilities exhibit hall floor. With us today is Sven, and I'm not even going to try. We're going to allow him to introduce himself in a minute. But he is with LiveEO. And why don't you help us out, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about LiveEO.
Sure. Thanks, first of all, for having me. I'm Sven Przywarra. That's my last name. Pretty difficult, but exactly, I'm the CEO of LiveEO. LiveEO is a satellite data analytics company. We focus on vegetation management for utilities. Exactly, our company has customers all over the US and Canada and the globe. And exactly, happy to tell you more about us.
How old is the company?
Yeah. So the company was originated in 2018. So I still remember being at, I think it was a CEATI event in 2018 where I was speaking about satellite data, and it was pretty new and fresh back then. Now, obviously, the industry has developed and more players are on the market, but we are around since 2018.
So Sven, I know we talked offline that you're originally from Berlin, Germany.
Yeah.
Where is the company headquartered?
Yeah. So you could say we have one headquarter in Berlin. That's where the original company was founded. But then we also have a US headquarter. Yeah.
Okay. And where is that based?
So that's in Denver.
That's in Denver.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, are you in the US full time?
So yeah, I'm in the US most of the time. So full time, always a question. I'm pretty much all over the globe. But then we have a team of nearly 10 people here in the US, which are focused on exactly our customers. And then we have a big engineering team in Europe, exactly, which develops the AI stuff.
So look around the showroom floor, technology has taken over.
Yeah.
And so tell us about LiveEO and what sets you apart or distinguishes you from everyone else I'm seeing?
Yeah, maybe it helps to zoom a little bit out and think a little bit about why we started the company. So the company was started by Daniel, my co-founder, and myself, both like German engineering students. And what we were seeing back in the, not 10 years ago, but a couple of years back, was really this incredible increase in the number of satellites in orbit. And what we saw was a big opportunity because satellite data was getting better, was getting cheaper, and from our hardware background, we were understanding on what kind of speed that development would happen. And we said that in the utility space, you really had a nice sweet spot because already with the data available on the market, you could really help to solve a lot of problems. So we believe that right now, and it's also likely the case for the foreseeable future, satellite data is great as a support for improving vegetation management practices, especially in transmission, especially in high voltage, on the high voltage side, on the medium voltage level. This is really where we believe that there's a sweet spot, because what you can do is you can pinpoint danger trees inside and outside the right-of-way. You can identify precisely where vegetation is coming too close to the conductor, and you can enrich these insights with a lot of other things which you can detect from space, like vitality and so forth. So that's what we believe is the great advancements which the satellite technology has brought to the market.
So are you just data acquisition, or?
No, so what we offer is, how we say what our offering is. We say LiveEO offers a full stack satellite data vegetation management software which integrates into your existing stack. What that means is that we run the procurement of satellite imagery, we run the analytics of the imagery, and then we push that into your work processes. Because ultimately, we could have the most beautiful app there is, but if you already use a different app as a utility, you don't want to switch to us. You want to use satellite insights in the sets, in the tools you already use.
On the integration.
Exactly, and so we push our data into your systems.
Talk to us a little bit about your point of differentiation from other companies that are also doing good work, moving the needle. What's the key point of differentiation between the two of you?
Yeah, I think it's first very important to say that it requires a couple of companies to really move an industry, right? So, and I think that's why it's a good thing that there are multiple players in this market. I think the main point of differentiation is really focus, where do you see that sweet spot? And I believe that our focus is really on transmission grids, right, and high voltage grids at large. and then high precision, high automation, and then pushing this data into the systems you have. So you could have an Esri system, you have Clarion, you could have an SAP system, and we can directly integrate there, and we have done that with customers. And I think that's really the unique point of differentiation between us and others. So automation, scale, quality, German engineering, and it's the full stack integration.
I like that. So how many utilities are you guys currently working with here in the US?
Yeah. So in the US, it's close to 20.
Okay.
Exactly. Globally, we have more than 60 utilities.
Okay.
So from Australia to India to all over Europe. The biggest utility in Europe is our customer for the next 5 years. The biggest railway operator in Europe is our customer. The biggest transmission grid operator in Australia. So exactly a couple of companies. And in the US right now, we have IOUs, we have municipalities, we have cooperatives, but it's mainly focused on transmission again.
Got it. How is your team built with, I guess, localized expertise on things like vegetation management, some of the nuances that only enhance the solution?
Yeah.
Or are you guys really just a group of technologists?
No, I think so. We started the company from the get-go with an extremely close link to customers. So we've built our first vegetation management applications with customers which spent over $100 million on vegetation management. So what we have is domain matter experts. So for example, Nick Ferguson, who's been in the industry for a long time, as well as consultants in different parts of the globe, which can help us to fine-tune not only the models, but also the offering to the requirements in this area. And that really helps to build a product which is very close to what customers need. And then we also have the flexibility to adjust the software to what the individual utility needs, which still can be different from utility to utility. Yeah.
I see. Sorry, how many people do you guys have?
So we are 120 people. Exactly, 120 people globally. Yeah.
And you're privately held, right?
Yeah, correct.
And how are you guys capitalized?
So we raised nearly more than $50 million so far. Exactly, and and
in multiple rounds.
Multiple rounds. The most recent round we closed in May of this year, and so exactly that really helps us to further build out the products and grow our team. So we've grown our team in the US, and we're constantly hiring right now because we believe that there's so much opportunity, especially if you just look at labor shortage and more extreme weather events. I think there's no way around technology. You have to use technology. There's just no other option, right? So we want to really be the best partner any utility can have to get the satellite-based vegetation management solution they really need, and they can really scale within their processes.
Yeah.
So how do you compare the adoption rate of technology in, say, Europe versus here?
Yeah. The US and obviously Canada have this great advantage that it's a huge market and everyone speaks the same language, right? So events like this, another thing in Europe. Although sometimes the big IOUs here in the US have a lot of corporate structure, and it takes really a long time to scale a solution. While we've seen that sometimes easier in, let's say, utilities which have been verticalized since, 100 years or so. But I would say that the US is very much on the forefront of technological adoption. But I would say, for example, the Australian market or certain countries in Europe are also among the front runners in that race. Yeah.
The landscape's only going to get more competitive, right? You're probably going to have a few more players. What is the strategy that you think can help you sort of penetrate more US utilities? Because you're right, even though the US market is friendly to technology, every utility, every state, every footprint is very different. Yeah. Different language, different culture, different pace.
100%.
And where they are in their digital life cycles. So what do you think that horizon looks like, and what are some of the headwinds that you're dealing with right now?
But I think the answer to your question is about our strategy, right? We want to partner with the right people which are already working with these utilities, which know these utilities better than we could. So partnerships are really important for us. Integrations are really important for us. And then also working with individual consultants who can help us to figure out exactly which utility could right now be in the mode of identifying what could be the next step on the digital adoption curve. So that's our strategy there.
Outside of competition, which yes, a certain amount of competition is good because it drives things. what are some areas that concern you about the space, or that are some challenges that you face?
So I think like one of the biggest problems is over-promising and under-delivering, right?
Yes.
And that's especially with a new technology, a thing some companies tend to do. And the thing is, like, going back to what I said at the very beginning, my co-founder and myself, we've been coming from the satellite space, right? So we understood really, really well like what the data could offer, but also what it's not capable of. And I think some other companies in that space maybe have promised a little bit too much, have been too aggressive in their marketing and their messaging, maybe have sparked a lot of interest, but obviously that interest wants to be converted to like rollouts. And if that doesn't happen because high expectations are not met, then it's a problem. And I think that's really important, that you clearly message, okay, what can a technology do? What can't it do? Clearly state that it's one piece in the toolbox, right? One tool in the toolbox and not the entire toolbox. And I think we should be all aware in the satellite data analytics space that that's the case.
So are you sort of, just for me to fully understand that, is it a situation where the utility has already been on the receiving end of a over-promise, under-delivered solution, and now they're a little gun shy?
Yeah, I would say that.
Taking on the... And the reason I laugh at that is because I've heard that.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering, are we in a pocket of stagnation with adoption because everyone's already done the first cycle of something that maybe didn't work or not as well as they thought?
Yeah, well, I don't hope that, and I don't see that, but obviously that's a risk, right? Yeah. And you want to, and I think like it's really important that you message also like exactly where you differentiate and what's the different approach, so that the utility customer ultimately doesn't think that, okay, well, that's just another group of people which try to overpromise here.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the other frustrations you hear about, and not for any company in particular, but it's the time between acquisition and on the desk being used.
Yeah.
Have you done anything to tackle that, or what's the key there?
Yeah, so I mean, it's true, right? I think like the same thing can be said about LiDAR, right? It always takes some time, but we focus from the beginning on this automation piece, right? Because I think the automation is the only way how we can scale technology-wise, right? Like can deliver really to a lot of customers, but then also like time to value, because ultimately that's like how a customer judges your solution in the end. How quickly have I received value from what I paid for? And so this is really where we focus on. So we've automated the entire processing. So we ultimately have just one person, once the data has been captured, to process the imagery and to push it out, so we can deliver it within a few weeks rather than a few months, right? Or even longer than what I've heard from competitors.
Very good. Sven, really appreciate you taking the time. We got a chance to learn about your venture, continued success. We'll keep an eye out for you in the marketplace. And, it sounds like you guys are doing some pretty cool stuff, pretty innovative stuff. So again, congratulations on your continued success. And thanks
and we'll see you next year.
Thank you very much for bringing me on.
Absolutely.
Sven.
Thanks.
That's it for this episode of Trees and Lines, brought to you by Iapetus Holdings. If you like the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple or Spotify. If you have any questions or comments on any of our episodes or ideas for topics or guests, we'd love to hear from you. Please contact us at treesandlines@iapetusllc.com. We'll chat with you soon.